Today I'm going to show you how to make my cat Pom-Pom, and she has little 3D whiskers. So this is a lovely technique, and it's very, very simple really. Didn't realise how simple it was until I tried it myself, and then yeah, it's great. So this is a cat Pom-Pom. She's got a tail and whiskers, and there's two options in the design file. There's one option to have stitched feet and one option to have non-stitched feet. So when you stitch out the feet file, feet and tail, you'll get two pairs of the feet legs and two tails. So you only need to stitch it once and you get it twice. And the cat head is, the seam's going to be on the inside on this, so the seam's going to be on the inside, so you're not going to see the seam on the head, but the seam is on the outside on the legs and the tail, because it's a little bit too tricky to turn it. I find it tricky, so it's going to be tricky for everybody really. Anyway, back to the cat head. So you've got a cat head, two files, and you'll notice in my files that I always put a placement and tap down box. This is so that you can pre-cut all your felt squares, and they are precise. So when you lay your felt over the square, you don't have much wastage. So I love doing them like this. So this is why I do them like that anyway. So I've cut out the legs that I want to use on the cat. The cat's legs go up to here, so this part here is going to be what goes into the cat itself, into the pom-pom. So this is the part of the legs that are shown. You can cut this down if you want to, if your pom-pom isn't as wide as it all depends on the yarn that you use. And I've already cut out the tail there and the head, so I'm going to show you how to turn the head. If you've seen one of my videos before, you'll find that I like to turn the ears first. So I open up the pattern and I poke the ears through with my finger first, like that. And then once I've done both the ears, I get a pokey stick, a stuffing stick, which is an old paintbrush. I've actually taken the paintbrush bits off now because it was looking really battered. And just poke the ears through the stuffing hole. Just do them one at a time. When you see the tips, then give it a bit of force. Might help if I put the paintbrush down. There we go. Right, so the cat has been turned, and with your stick just push all the seams out. One side there, one side there. Poke all the corners of the ears on there, and one there. So I'm going to gently stuff this. You'll see that I've got whiskers here, and I want you to cut them from the top, please. So I'll show you how to cut the whiskers. Snip and snip. Okay, and they are nice and secure and attached. I had a bit of trouble because I kept pulling them and they were unthreading, so it's best to cut them from the top and you get your 3D whiskers. And then you need to stuff your cat head just gently. Your stabilizer stays on the inside, so make sure you get, when you're stuffing, you don't stuff up to the thread bits. You want to stuff behind the thread. And then just stuff that a bit more. Right, don't stuff the ears, massage the ears around. It gives a little curl in the ears and it's very effective. There we go. There we are. Right, and then you need to turn your neck hole, the neck in. And this just covers all the stuffing up. You can't see the stuffing now, you see. There we go, that's the cat done. If you get confident, you can cut the stitches from the inside, and they make them just about a couple of mil longer if you want them longer. But just don't cut through the bobbin thread, only cut through the thread itself, the top thread. Right, so the head's ready. And you need to make a pom-pom. This is a clover pom-pom maker, size 65, and the colour is green. You can get them in a few different sizes and colours, blue being the largest that Clover do. And I have wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped. Let me just get that bit out. See thing. Right, okay. So I've wrapped both the arms and I've tied it up twice. I might just tie it up one more time. Nice and tight. And you need to double knot the pom-pom. 1, 2. Right. So then open up both the arms. I've used a couple of different yarns for this, only because I wanted to match it with the felt that I was using. So it doesn't really matter what sort of yarn you use, as long as you just wrap the pom-pom as tight as you can, really. So we'll cut these long threads off. I quite like the tatty look, to be honest. Which side should I go for? Go for that side, I think. Right, so hot glue gun on. You'll be able to see right the way back to the tie off piece of wool that I've tied off. So this could be a good guide as to where you put your legs. If you want the pom-pom that way, or you can have the pom-pom that way, it's entirely up to you. There's no rules. So let's have a look. Do you think that's going to look okay? I think that'll look okay. Or should we go that way? Let's go that way. Yeah, I'm going to go this way. Right, so opening up the pom-pom threads. I'm going to put a bit of glue in here. Oh, stuffing and glue sticks do not go very well. Right, so you just poke it in there. If you want, you can add a little bit of stuffing to these legs. And if you want to, you don't have to. Push it up a little bit, it looks a bit low there. There we go. Right, so the legs are added. And then we're going to add the head to the pom-pom. What you need to do with the pom-pom this time is just separate some of the yarn pieces, just to give you a flatter base to glue your pom-pom onto. Put a bit of glue there, and I'm also going to put a bit of glue around the top of the cat neck. And what I need to do is just pinch the cat threads. It's a very tatty cat, isn't it? I'm going to give the tail a little bit of a stuffing as well, so very lightly stuff the tail. They're a bit tricky. To find the opening hole would help. There we go. Right. It will go in. But like I say, it is tricky. You do need a very thin paintbrush, but I've actually got a thin paintbrush, or stick, whatever you want to use. Notice I'm using a very small amount of stuffing. I'm not putting thick bits in. There we go, a little bit of stuffing. You can do the same with the legs if you want to on there. That looks quite sweet as well. Okay, tail done. Turn the pom-pom round and find a little place to put your tail. Let's put it a little bit lower. Cats' tails are quite low. And a little bit of glue in there. There we go, and squeeze the pieces of yarn. Oh, got a bit of glue there. Around the tail. There we go. Tails on. And then what I need to do is add a little hanging loop as she's a decoration. Well, she's very tatty. I think I'm going to call her Tatty. Right, that's that done. Let's get some thread. This is the thread that I like using. I use it on all of my hanging decorations. I bought it from a local scrap store. I've also got it in gold. So we're going to thread the needle. This is my upholstery needle. I like it because it's easy to thread because it's got a big eye. My eyes are starting to go. I'm 43 now. And it's bent, so it's got a hook on it. So I'm going to go for the top of the head. You can go from the pom-pom itself if you want to, but it's a balancing act when you have to go through the pom-pom. When you go through the head, you can't go wrong with it. So there we go. Pull that through and then tie the ends together. I think that's all of them. Yeah, it is. When they're not all together, it makes a very untidy knot, and I don't like it. I like tidiness. There we go. There we go. So the cat is all finished.